Hello and welcome to First Chapter Fridays with Miss Valine, your media specialist at CCMS Media Center, coming to you live. Well, not quite, but a couple hours earlier in my living room on this rainy evening before Friday of February. Being that it is February and Black History Month, as mentioned in Mr. Straley's morning updates, I am going to be sharing with you all kinds of books that are about the African American experience, history, um, folklore, even maybe some books that are just written by African Americans that that are just really great reads. Tons out there. So I bring to you today a twofer. It's a twofer because both of these are very short first chapters, and they both kind of go together in that they are stories about young people today who are trying to figure out who they are in this world, right? They're young, your age, who are facing some obstacles. The first book I want to share with you is For Black Girls Like Me. And this story, told by Mariama Lockington, is about a young girl who is adopted into a white family. And she really doesn't know about her past, doesn't know about where she came from. So not only is it a story about growing up and figuring out who you are, but she's really trying to figure out who she is. So from the inside cover, For Black Girls Like Me, I am a girl, but most days I feel like a question mark. Makita June Kirkland is 11 years old, adopted and Black. Her parents and big sister are white, and even though she loves her family very much, Kita often feels left out. When Kita's family moves from Maryland to New Mexico, she leaves behind her best friend Lena, the only other adopted Black girl she knows, for a new life. In New Mexico, everything is different. At home, Kita's sister is too cool to hang out with her anymore, and at school, she can't seem to find one true friend. Through it all, Kita can't help wondering, what would it feel like to grow up with a family that looks like me? In this deeply felt coming of age story about family, sisterhood, music, race, and identity, Mariam J. Lockington draws on some of her emotional truths from her own experiences growing up with an adoptive white family. For Black Girls Like Me is for anyone who has ever asked themselves, how do you figure out where you are going if you don't know where you came from? For Black Girls Like Me. Chapter 1. Tumbleweeds. I'm a girl, but most days I feel like a question mark. People throw their looks at me, then back at my mama, sister, and papa, who are all as white as oleander. Then they look back at me, black as a midnight orchard. And I see their puzzled faces trying to understand where I fit. People ask me where I'm from, but I know what they really mean. Where do you belong? Right now, I'm on the road, somewhere just outside of St. Louis. It's March. On our second day of driving cross country from Baltimore to our new house in Albuquerque, I sit in the middle seat of the minivan with the windows cracked, my ashy legs spotted with sunshine. My older sister Eve is in the seat behind me, her glossy brown hair blowing in the breeze. Mama's up front with one hand on the wheel, her violin in the passenger seat, the neck tipped down like a bottle being emptied into the sink. All of us heading west. A copper sun warming the sky. All of us singing along with the radio at the top of our lungs. And Mama has a smile on her face this morning, her freckled cheeks flushed red as a Juneberry as she sings and rolls the front window down so that the whole van becomes a whistle. The wind whips in and out of our throats, our eyes, and our hair, and I forget my ashy knees. I forget to miss my best friend Lena, who I've left behind. The only other girl I know who is like me, an adopted, mismatched girl. I forget to be angry at Papa for missing another family adventure, for having to fly ahead of us to start his new job with the symphony. I forget to worry about Mama and Papa always fighting these days. Mama staring wildly through windows, hardly playing her violin at all. For hours, we drive and sing the sun in its highest point in the sky. This is where I'm from, I whisper yell between verses. And for a moment, I hope we might stay like this forever. Me, Mama, and Eve. A tangled smear of color barreling past ghost towns and highway markers. 3 tumbleweeds just blowing in the wind. For Black girls like me. By Mariama J. Lockington. And as promised, this twofer is Tight by Torrey Maldonado. And again, the story is about finding out who you are and just figuring out the world and where you fit in. But in this case, we have a young man named Brian who is kind of the quiet type, right? But he is matched up and meets somebody who is a whole lot more daring than he is, takes a whole lot more chances and risks than he does. And on top of it, he's got this dad who doesn't really appreciate quiet young men. He would rather be a force in this world. So he's getting a lot of conflicting and struggling, messages from everybody. So from the inside of Tight. Lately, Brian's been feeling it in all kinds of ways. Brian knows what's tight for him: reading comics, drawing superheroes, and hanging out with no drama. But drama is every day where he's from, and that gets him tight, wound up. And now Brian's friend Mike pressures him with ideas of fun that are crazy risky. At first, it's a rush following Mike, hopping turnstiles, subway surfing, and getting into all kinds of trouble. But Brian never really feels right acting so wrong, and drama really isn't him. So which way will it go? Especially when his dad tells him it's better to be hard and feared than liked. But if there's one thing Brian's gotten from his comic heroes, it's that he has power to stand up for what he feels. Torrey Maldonado delivers a fast-paced, insightful, dramatic story. Readers will connect with Brian's journey as he navigates a tough world with a heartfelt desire for a different lifestyle. Chapter 1. I'm chilling at the community center where Ma works. She's cool with her boss and coworkers, so they're cool with me and my sister Ava being at Ma's job after school. Usually Ava chills for minutes, me, hours. I don't know why Ava doesn't hang out longer. Maybe she's too busy with her 9th grade life. But me, I like doing office things like Ma, reading, being quiet, and chilling for forever. For example, about a month back, I found this empty spot at Ma's job and asked her if I could use it as my pretend office. She asked her boss and she told Ma, sure. We also have a spare desk chair and some other supplies Brian can use. So right now I'm doing homework in my office, but this kid named Mike is at Ma's desk and I'm distracted spying on him. He's a year older than me and about 2 inches taller. He rocks a sweater like mine, but his kicks are newer and more popular. He has hair like me, afro type, if we grew it out. Mine's grown out a little since I need a cut. He just got one. Now he's alone, but I've seen him with his mom here 2 or 3 times. I didn't think twice about Mike at first because a lot of kids and their parents come through here. Then I saw him at my school hanging with 7th graders. He didn't do his 6th grade at my school. So why did he transfer here for the 7th grade? I asked Ma and she said his family was in the Bronx and she helped them get an apartment here in Brooklyn in our projects. In school, me and Mike nod, what's up, but don't hang. I see him around the neighborhood too, and at the handball courts near us. Then the other day, I saw him talking to my pops. I didn't get why Pa was so friendly to him, and I don't get why Mike is here now talking to Ma. I squint at them. Did Mike just call Ma? I asked Ava, who is in my office looking at my homework on my clipboard. Ava stares from the clipboard at him and shrugs. Who cares? Almost anyone younger than her calls her Ma. That's true. Ma helps a lot of people, and they love her, but I don't like this kid Mike calling her Ma right now. I ask Ava. Why is he playing her so close? Ava goes back to reading the clipboard, but I can't look away. Mike stares at Ma like she's his Ma for real and gives her a hug. Yo, he better let go of my mom's. Ava interrupts me and points at different spots on my clipboard. You spelled some stuff wrong. What? Where? Nothing should be wrong because I checked it twice like Ma says to do. I look where she points. Ugh, she's right. I hate when she's right. I grab a pencil, take a clipboard, I fix my mistakes. By the time I look up again, Mike's about to leave. He yells, "Bye, Ma." I turn to Ava. He just called her Ma again. She rolls her eyes because he's probably her real son, unlike you. Here she goes again, cracking that stupid joke she's been cracking since I was in daycare, telling me Mom and Pa found me in a trash can. Back then, I believed her. Since me and Ava have different complexions, hers is chocolate brown and I'm a light caramel. The first time she said it, I ran to Ma and she showed me our birth certificates. Ava got punished, but she never stopped joking. I wasn't her brother, like right now. And for some reason, it still bothers me. Well, I wish Mike was my real brother, she continues. He's no mama's boy like you. My whole head burns like I have a fever. I want to cut on her so hard, but only weak disses come to mind. I finally growl, "Big head." Ooh, big head. Ouch. I can't wait until Mike comes to eat. Eat? What do you think? He calls Ma and he won't come to eat soon. You know anyone who calls Ma ends up eating with us. You saw how she hugged him. Ma sneaks up on us. What is going on with you two? We shut up. You both were going at it. Now you're quiet. Brian's mad because you hugged Mike. Mom makes a face like I'm her baby and I have nothing to worry about. Come here. I go over and she hugs me. You don't have to worry about Mike. You'll see him tomorrow night. He's coming for dinner. Cute story. I love the way that you can just hear the voice of the characters. You can hear that inner voice that's inside of Brian. So Tight by Torrey Maldonado, another story for this Friday, first chapter, where the characters are just trying to figure out who they are in this world. They're trying to figure out, where they fit in and who they are, especially in for Black girls like me, where Mariama Lockington, she grasps on to her experiences in life and really explores, what might it have been if I had grown up in a family that looks like me, unlike her real experience, which was growing up Black in a white family in a location in this world where she really couldn't connect with people who were like her. Two great books for Black girls like me and Tight. Both are available on Destiny. Just go to CCMS Media Center, click on Destiny, log in, look for these books, just search in the search box. You can click hold and I will email you when they are ready to be picked up at the media center, at the school office any school day during school hours. I hope you enjoyed this Friday's first chapters. Got 2 of them. Woohoo! Have a really great weekend. We'll see you next week.